I just finished spraying this door skin with 2 coats of undercoating. So now before the paint has a chance to dry, or the undercoating has a chance to fully dry, I'm just going to take off this tape that I put around the edge so that I didn't get any of that undercoating on the surfaces of the door where I have to fold over the flange to attach it to the door shell. I thought it would be better if those areas, since I have to do a little bit of welding on them, didn't have any undercoating on them. So I'm just going to peel this tape off now before this stuff dries completely and makes it a lot harder to get off. I think it came out pretty good. Alright, so that's it. It's upside down, but the inside of this door skin is now got 2 coats of undercoating on it, so it'll be protected from any water that gets down inside the door. And there is a little bit of water that does get on the inside of this exterior door skin. So now the next step will be to measure it up. Before we put it onto the door shell, you want to make some measurements. Make sure all of your creases are in the right place. Make sure you got enough flange when you fold it over that it will lap with the flange on the door shell. So I'll show you how to do that the next time when I'm ready to put this skin on the door. Okay, this is the door skin from the driver's side door that I cut off. And the last thing that I need to do with this piece before I get rid of it is take off this bracket that is used to mount the vent window and put it onto the new door skin, because the replacement door skins don't have this bracket. So before I cut it off, I want to measure where this bolt is on the door skin so that when I go to put it on the new one, I know how to get it in the right location. So I'm going to draw a line on here with a straight edge and mark it so that even after I cut this thing off, I'll be able to come back and measure where it was front to back if I really want to. And as long as I'm on here right now, I'm going to measure to the center of this bolt hole, and I get 1, 2 and 7/16 to the center of that bolt hole. So I'll just write that on the door right here. And this might be off the camera because I got this thing up in the air so you can see over my shoulder what I'm doing. But nevertheless, all I did was measure from the bottom edge, well it's actually the top edge of the skin, down to the middle of this bolt hole. And now front to back, I put a line on there. And I'm just going to continue that line down onto the front of the door, because when you cut this thing off, you're going to cut off a large part of this sheet metal. So if I just put that line on there like that, now when I cut off the bracket, this line will still be on my door shell, door skin, and I'll be able to measure from the front corner precisely to the center line of where that bolt was. So now I'll get to cutting this bracket off, and then we'll clean it up and paint it before we weld it onto the new door skin. Alright, so I got the angle grinder. Let's cut this bracket off. Alright, so you can see now this piece is just spot welded on with a couple of spot welds. So all I have to do is either drill them out, or I can just grind on the back side of this and take this piece of the door skin off. And then we'll clean up this bracket, paint it, and it'll be ready to go on the other car. I'll make a note, a mental note, to say that there's a hole in this bracket, and pretty much the top edge of the hole is flush with this lip on the door skin. So on my new one, I already measured the distance, 2 7/16. I know it to the center of the bolt hole from the top edge of the door. But another check that I can make, if my lip on my new door skin is the same width as the lip of this one, if I just position the top of this little window at the bottom edge of this lip, then it should go right on in the same place. You know, I shouldn't have this window too far under this lip, and I shouldn't have it too far out beyond the edge of this top edge of the door skin. So you always want to just look for all those little clues so that you can put these things back on in the exact position that they came off. Otherwise it won't work right when you try and bolt up that vent window. The little bracket is clamped to the table. I got a grinding disc on the grinder. Now we're going to grind off this piece of sheet metal where the spot welds are, so we can clean this thing up and put it on the new door skin. Alright, I've been grinding on this for a couple of minutes. I think I need a new grinding disc too. See what happens. So that ends off. Just broke through that spot weld. And perhaps we can do the same thing on this one. Alright, that's it. I'll just grind these down a little bit. It should be good. And here you have it. Through the magic of a wire wheel and video editing, there's the cleaned up bracket. All of this part to hold this one nut. Not exactly a nut, it's a threaded plug, but the entire purpose of this whole piece to allow you to mount one screw. I don't know if they build cars this way anymore. So we'll clean this thing up, put a little primer on it, put a little paint on it, be ready to weld onto the old new door skin.